Hi, boys and girls. I had a good time seeing you yesterday. Miss James and I spent 4.5 hours traveling around Franklin County to make sure we visited everybody and we got everybody in. And by the time I got home, it was really too late for me to make a video. So I'm sorry I missed yesterday's video. And in the meantime, here's JC. He's coming to say hello. He wanted to get a little camera time. Hello, buddy. As I was preparing for videos, Lyndon has informed me that mine are boring. She says, I don't have very good videos, not nearly as good as Miss Crutchfield. And she informed me that she thought you all would want to see some of the house. So I'm going to try to show you just a little bit, okay? I'm going to turn this around, I hope. Well, no, we'll just leave it like this. And I'll do this. I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to kind of give you a pan view of the basement. This is my basement. See, there's a little kitchen over there. Lyndon has a playroom. And I'm going to walk you to another room of our house that, oh, and I'll show you the big screen TV. We do watch movies down here. See, there's our big screen TV. It's pretty nice. And I'm going to walk you to another room of a house that's called the exercise room. Now, I know that looks pretty cool and all, but the reality is, do you see that ball there and the TV on the wall? Sometimes I say I'm coming down here to exercise, and I might exercise a little, but I end up sitting on the wall and watching my TV show of my choice instead of sharing it with the family upstairs. So, ha. Sometimes it turns into a TV room more than it does an exercise room. So, that's the basement. There's a couple other rooms over there, but right now Mr. Burton is actually making a video for his work. Now, we have been reading The Best School Year Ever, and last we left off, the Herdmans were talking about their cat. And in fact, they had said it was crazy. And we read that from our first book we read. We knew about the crazy Herdman cat. Beware of the cat. Remember that? Well, now, chapter 3, we're going to have, I think this is the chapter where we have, we're at chapter 2, and I think this is the chapter where we have a really great story about the Herdman's cat. Let's find my spots for you, boys and girls. Remember, last we left off, Ollie had been stuck into the bathroom, and the people couldn't use the bathroom. They had to get the police. The whole thing, the whole people, the town got involved in trying to free Ollie. So the Herdmans, for that reason, the Herdmans weren't allowed in the post office or in a Sunoco station, or they got any place else for that matter. And they even got thrown out of the new laundromat the very day it opened. They planned to wash their cat in one of the machines, but they didn't know it would cost money, so they just dropped him and went off to locate some quarters. Of course, the cat didn't like it in the washing machine, and it made so much noise, hissing and spitting and scratching, that the manager, Mr. Cleveland, went to see what was wrong. I thought it was a short circuit, he said, or a loose connection or something electrical. That's the kind of noise it was. People said it looked electrical all right. When he opened the lid, the cat shot out with its tail and its ears and its hair standing straight up. It skittered all around the tops of the machines and clawed through everybody's laundry baskets and knocked over boxes of soap and bottles of bleach and a big basket of flowers that said, "Good luck to the laundromat." Finally, someone opened the door, and at last they saw the cat. It was roaring down the street, all tangled up in a tablecloth. Of course, the laundromat was a mess, and all the customers were mad and couldn't find their clothes and wanted their money back for the stuff the cat had spilled. Pretty soon, people began to sneeze from all the cat hair and soap and powder in the air, and one lady broke out in big red blotches all over because she was allergic to cats. Mr. Cleveland sent everyone outdoors till things settled down. But things didn't settle down. Santoro's Pizza Parlor was across the street, and when Mr. Santoro saw all these people coming out of the laundromat sneezing and coughing and choking, he yelled, "What's the matter? Is it a fire?" Somebody yelled back, "No, cat hair!" But Mr. Santoro thought they said bad air. He figured there was something wrong with the new plumbing connections, maybe a gas leak, and he ran to the top of the street to warn people away in the case of an explosion. Some of the people he warned away were the Herdmans, Imogene, Ralph, and Leroy, on their way back with 50 cents for the washing machines. "You children, get away from here," he said. "The laundromat may explode." I guess they were pretty surprised. They probably figured the cat did it, but they didn't know how. They also probably figured that if the cat was smart enough to blow up a laundromat, it was smart enough to get out of the way, so they just left. Mr. Santoro called the fire department too, and they came right away. But of course, there wasn't any fire, and there wasn't any gas leak. And by the time, there wasn't any cat anywhere near there, and there weren't any Herdmans either, just a lot of angry customers and a reporter from the newspaper who went around interviewing everybody. Most of the people didn't even know what had happened because it was so fast. So the newspaper story was pretty mysterious. It said, "Laundromat opening marred by unusual disturbance," it said. "Firemen respond to anonymous alarm. Customers describe wild animal." My father said at least they got that part right. Mr. Cleveland had to clean up the mess and replace everybody's stuff and pay for the blotched up lady to get an allergy shot, so he was pretty mad. Mr. Santoro was mad because they called him anonymous, and of course the firemen were mad because they knew the Herdmans did it, whatever it was. In the meantime, the Herdmans were home, waiting for the cat to show up. The cat, crazier than usual because it was all wrapped up in a tablecloth, was tearing all over town, yowling and spitting and scratching at anything that got in its way. It ran in the barber shop and streaked up one side of the chair where Mr. Perry was shaving someone. "All of a sudden," Mr. Perry said, "there was a cat, so I lathered the cat by mistake. Missed my customer and lathered the cat." Then the cat ran through the lobby of the movie theater and picked up some popcorn in there. And by the time that happened, you couldn't tell what it was or what it ever had been. It finally clawed its way up a tree in front of the library, and the librarian, Miss Grabner, called the fire department to come and get it down. "I think it's a cat," she said, "and it looks like it's been through a war." "No," the fire chief said, "it's been through a washing machine, and as far as I'm concerned, it can stay in there till that middle of next year." Of course, Miss Grabner was mad about that. The only people who weren't mad were the Herdmans, because when the cat finally came home, it was all clean and fluffy from the shaving lather, and that's what they had wanted in the first place. Till tomorrow.